The uniform of the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is supposed to be a symbol of trust. It represents a promise to protect and serve the public. Trooper Jarquez Evans wore that uniform, and with it, the immense responsibility that came with the badge. But prosecutors say that behind the badge, a predator was hiding in plain sight. This is a story of how a man sworn to uphold the law allegedly became its most terrifying violator. It's a story about what began as a routine traffic stop but spiraled into a nightmare, leading to a felony charges that could put the man tasked with protecting the public behind bars for the rest of his life. How did a protector allegedly become a predator? The answer begins on a dark road in Oklahoma. To grasp the depth of this alleged betrayal, you first have to understand the power of entrusted to Jarquez Evans. Think of a state trooper's badge as a master key, one given in good faith to a guardian. It's a key that unlocks access, authority, and above all, public trust. That badge wasn't just a piece of metal. It was a symbol of security on the state's highways. For citizens in distress, a trooper's presence is meant to be a comfort. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol itself has said that it values the trust placed in us by the citizens we serve. That's the core of their mission. When an officer like Evans was placed on administrative leave after a complaint was filed in 2024, the department reinstated this value, saying that when trust is questioned, they take appropriate action in accordance with our policies and the law, regardless of position or rank. This public promise is a backdrop for the shocking allegations that would not only shatter one woman's life, but also stain the integrity of the badge Evans wore. Before the criminal charges and the headlines, he was just Trooper Evans, a guardian on the highways. But prosecutors argue that he twisted that power into a weapon. The night of January 26, 2025, stated out as a routine one for a state trooper. At or near the intersection of Southeast 29th Street and South High Avenue in Oklahoma City, Trooper Jarquez Evans pulled a car over. The reason was for an expired vehicle restoration. The driver, an adult woman, was in a tough spot. A check revealed what Evans would tell her were significant violations: driving with a suspended license and without insurance. For anyone, that's a high anxiety moment where the trooper holds all the power. Dashcam footage later released by the Oklahoma Highway Patrol shows the first parts of the stop. In the video, Evan approaches the woman's car, and she gets out. He appears to search her pockets before putting her in his patrol car. Inside his cruiser, they talk, and she reportedly tells him she has a drug pipe in her vehicle. But then something critical happens. At a key moment, the audio from the dash cam just cuts out. The recording, which is supposed to act like a story's impartial narrator, suddenly goes silent. This silence creates a black hole in the official record, right when transparency was needed most. According to the investigators and court documents, it was in this recorded moment that the nature of the stop changed completely. It was no longer about traffic violations. It was about to become an exercise in coercion and terror. With the recording silent, prosecutors allege Trooper Evans presented the terrifying woman with a horrifying choice. As alleged in court documents, he told her to go down the street with him or go to jail. This wasn't a real choice. It was an ultimatum, like being asked whether you'd prefer to jump from a burning building or stay inside. Faced with two terrifying outcomes, the victim made a decision born of pure fear. She agreed to follow him. She got back into her car and followed his patrol car to a second, more secluded location. This move was a major departure from any standard police procedure. At this new spot, any pretense of a legit traffic stop was gone. According to the victim's police report and allegations in a civil lawsuit, Evans got out of his cruiser, walked over to her car, and got inside. There, he allegedly unzipped his uniform and commanded her to perform sexual acts on him. The events that followed are the basis of the two most serious charges against him: first degree RAPE and forcible oral sodomy. For about 12 minutes, a time period inferred from his patrol's car camera being parked with no audio, the man who was supposed to be her protector allegedly became her attacker. After the assault was over, Evans allegedly got back into his patrol car and simply drove away. With no official report of the traffic stop apparently ever being filed, he left behind a shattered victim in a crime scene. But he also crucially left behind evidence. Investigators say forensic testing detailed in the arrest affidavit later matched Jarquez Evans' DNA to evidence collected in the case, directly linking the trooper to the alleged assault. Stories like this are incredibly difficult to hear, but they are essential to tell. They shine a light on the abuse of power and the importance of holding our institutions accountable. If you believe in the power of in-depth and factual storytelling, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Your support allows us to continue investigating and reporting on these critical cases. In the aftermath, the victim made the courageous decision to report the assault to the Oklahoma City Police Department. Her report launched a joint investigation between City Police and the Oklahoma Highway Patrol's own Internal Affairs Unit. This put the OHP in a difficult position. For an organization to investigate one of its own for such a crime is like the body's immune system being forced to attack a part of itself. A painful but necessary process to remove a threat from within. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol acted. Upon receiving the complaint in 2024, they placed Trooper Evans on administrative leave, taking him off the streets while the investigation proceeded. As investigators pieced together what happened that night, analyzing the suspicious gap in the dashcam audio, processing DNA evidence, and corroborating the victim's testimony, the case against Evans grew. The investigation climaxed in March of 2025 when Jarquez Evans was arrested. The man who once put people in handcuffs were now in them himself, booked into the Oklahoma County Jail. Shortly after, his law enforcement career came to an official and disgraceful end. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol terminated his employment, stripping him of his badge forever. The Oklahoma County District Attorney's Office formally filed charges: first degree RAPE and forcible oral sodomy. Evans was released on a $100,000 bond, but he was no longer a trooper. He was a terminated ex-trooper and a criminal defendant facing the possibility of life in prison. As he should. The criminal case isn't the only legal battle Jarquez Evans is facing. The victim has also filed a civil lawsuit seeking damages for the violation of her civil rights and the trauma she suffered. This lawsuit specifically highlights the allegation that Evans deliberately turned off his microphone and dashcam audio to hide what he was doing. A key detail suggesting a premeditated abuse of power. As of early 2026, the criminal case against Jarquez Evans is ongoing. After his arrest and firing, the case was set for a preliminary hearing. Recent reports indicate he has a court hearing scheduled for early February of 2026. This hearing is a critical step where a judge will determine if there's enough probable cause to send the case to a full trial. The wheels of justice are known to turn slowly, much like a great ship changing course. The movement is deliberate and powerful, but it takes time to reach its final destination. For now, under the law, Evans is a defendant, accused but not yet convicted, and the world is watching. The case of Darquez Evans is a chilling story about the terrifying space between trust and terror. It's a stark reminder that the very symbol of protection can be twisted into a weapon. A police uniform is meant to be a shield for the public, but in the wrong hands, prosecutors allege it becomes a cloak for a predator. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol has emphasized its commitment to justice for the victim and its intolerance for such betrayals. But this story raises profound questions that linger. How do we prevent such abuse of power? What safeguards can truly protect citizens during a traffic stop? And how can a system built on trust recover when one of its own is accused of becoming the danger? While the legal system works to provide answers and justice for one victim, the questions left in the wake of this case echo far beyond a single courtroom. They force us to confront the dark reality that sometimes the greatest threat can come from the very person who swore an oath to protect us.